What's up, YouTube? So the final part to this one's about Pops, right? So once again, dying, confessions. Welcome to another episode of KM Videos, True Stories.
Gotta be down, then you can't be a hoe, no. Gotta be down, then you can't be a hoe, no. Gotta be down, then you can't be a hoe, no. Gotta be down, then you can't be a hoe, no. Cased up.
That was it. I never stopped banging. I started banging hard, then I got so hard till it was a shame.
Welcome to another episode of KM Videos, True Stories. All right, so we'll go all the way back to my childhood when I was 5 years old. So we talking 1973, 73, 74. My father got put out the house on Eileen. And Pops moved to the east side with his sister. He would go to his mama's house with all his siblings and stuff right up the street in Windsor Hills, but it was crowded there. And his mother never allowed people to go in and out the house. You get to go out the house one time, and you come back in, that's it. Pop's always going in and out. You know, he's going to see ladies, probably stealing cars, or going to a pool hall, gambling, stuff like that. Maybe go to have a drink. He wasn't an alcoholic, but he did get drunk. So when Pops moved to the east side with his sister, they had a duplex on Wadsworth Ave, right next to Jefferson, between 33rd and Jefferson. And so I would call Pops up, be like, yo, Dad, can you come pick me up? He'd be like, why? Because I want to come spend a night. Oh, I'm busy. Pops didn't have time for me, but he had time for the young girls, right? I meant young girls. Now, don't get me wrong. Pops was something else, and I love Pops, and you should love your Pops too. It's just a growing up thing, getting to know how men get down, and we gonna decide if we want to be like our parents or not. Sometimes it's just basically hereditary. It's stuff we just pick up naturally from seeing them and the vibes we get from them. But so, y'all know the story. My brother gets put out the house twice when we were young, and he goes and live with my father. So he goes through high school. He parts of junior high and high school with my father before he comes back to the west side in 1983. And me, myself, I'm always at home with Moms. It's just me and Moms. I go from a family of 6 to I'm the only one there. So I've been with Moms the whole way. Nobody in the family been with Moms longer than me. Not even my older siblings, because they got up out the house early. They were kind of pushed out the nest. And so as I got older, my brother went to YTS. I don't know the difference, but he goes to YTS camp, all that. Goes to Chino, goes Soledad, Donovan, and whatever other prisons he's been to. He's been to a lot of them. Folsom, or all of that old stuff, man. Salinas Valley, all of that. So I would call Pops. Hey, Pops, what's up? What's up? I want to spend the night. Well, you can't spend the night. Maybe next weekend. Hey, Pops, it's next weekend. Oh, I'm busy. Yeah. And I used to get tired of that shit. But, of course, I had to stay with Pops for 2 summers. After them 2 summers, I didn't never want to stay with Pops again, man. When I seen all the girlfriends he had and how he was playing them on money and presents and tricking them and then buying some of them cars, like, nigga, I don't want to be around your ass, nigga, ever. Like, you putting these hoes before me, nigga. Like, I felt some type of way. I always felt some type of way. I was always in my feelings, but I would take it like a trooper. And I love and respect the fact, y'all probably heard me say this before, but man, I wasn't like my brother. My brother, this tough guy, this big old guy, you know what I'm saying? This institutionalized, crazy motherfucker. would let Pops talk to him anyway and treat him anyway, but not skinny ass, little ass me. Nigga, I would talk shit to Pops. Like, I didn't even talk shit to Aunt, but I talk shit to Pops. Before my aunt died, I talked shit to her. I could tell you a story about her next, since we're talking about people dying and getting things off your chest. So I got stories I could tell about Pops where, I threatened him, I gave him ultimatums and stuff like that. But I got good times too where Pops would take me to the spot to get work, to sell me guns, and, all kind of stories that I have, and especially with women. So the older and older I got, the more I knew about him messing with all these women. His friends' wives, his friends' girlfriends, girls he just meet, girls in them homes, them group homes, and he bust a girl anywhere, man. Pops was the coldest player I know. He had you beat Ice-T, but you was up there, Ice-T. You in my top 5, Ice. But Pops was a monster, man. It wasn't always cool because I would have to hear these stories. Moms would tell me about him cheating and moms going wrecking his cars. One time, took her Celica and she drives it through the fence on the east side, up onto the porch to the front door. Moms didn't play. I remember moms couldn't get her car back home. I think they helped her. I don't know how the car got back home, but the car was wrecked. And moms used to go through it with Pops. You know what I'm saying? Moms was hard, though. Moms used to tell him, nigga, I'll blow your head off, but she never did. She loved Pops for real. He loved her too, but I don't know how to explain it. But it was a crazy type of love, like TLC, like Left Eye and Andre Rison. You know what I mean? One of them situations when I was younger, my siblings was already out the house. And I believe my brother was already going to YTS. But anyway, so Pops ended up moving to Cincinnati, Ohio with his father. That's a whole nother story. I mentioned on live, I could tell that story about Grandpa. And then he moves to Memphis. He had a sister in Memphis. He worked for her. He was doing pretty good in Memphis, you know what I'm saying, messing with the young girls and their sisters and their mamas and stuff like that, the grandmama, the mama, and the daughter. Pops was still wild. It didn't matter his age or his finances. One thing he enjoyed was he didn't have to have fancy things in Memphis. When he went to Memphis, Southern girls would spill out their bank accounts for him. They open up their purse for him. They just loved him. They loved Uncle Bob. They called him Uncle Bob. Every nigga you hear, they call Uncle, and it ain't your real uncle. And them niggas is freaky. Them niggas is some cold players. Watch out for them. Honestly, watch out for them. So Uncle Bob used to like dwell on these fat girls, these fat chicks, and they would always buy him gifts, and they would come over to see him. He would cook them spaghetti, this hot, spicy spaghetti, and they would come over and get bowls of spaghetti, and that's basically all he had to do was cook them some good food, and they'd drop 10 racks, 5 racks on the table for him to go gamble. You know what I mean? Because Pops loved to gamble. He pretended, he fooled people like he wasn't strong gambling, but I knew he was strong gambling because I started out at 20 years old with him in the casinos and ended up, you know what I'm saying, the end of his life, end of our relationship, he was still gambling. He gambled up until he died. So, Pops had all these lottery tickets all over his house and shit. All over his house. Except in his bedroom. He had these lottery tickets everywhere. He wouldn't even throw them away. I remember I go to Memphis to visit Pops, right? And I go in his bedroom. And kind of like me or me like him, he got all these pictures. All these pictures on his wall and on his dresser and shit. And I look. He got a picture of me, my kids, and my kids' mother. Beautiful picture. But I'm surprised he have a picture with all of them up there. But he never did anything for his grandkids. And then he got other pictures. He got pictures of my mother, which is another reason why I know he loved my mom. Of course, he got all these pictures of my brother. I always said he loved my brother and favored my brother over me, right? But growing up, he always had us together. Or my mother would have us together, or my grandmother. Me and my brother always stayed together. We always stayed tight. Uncle would take pictures of us. Fathers would take pictures of us. So we got a lot of childhood pictures of our glory days, right? And I always felt like Pops gave bro special attention. When I go to jail, like Pops only came to see me a couple times. Every time he came to see me, it was some bullshit. The rivals is tripping. The Mexicans is tripping. So Pops didn't like to come see me, but that was just an excuse because when I went to prison, he never came to visit me. He used to send me stamps, though. Stamps and letters. So I was always cool on the stamp. I could go gamble my stamps so I could write whoever I wanted to write. You could use the stamps to get pictures and stuff like that. So you could trade stamps for store. Stamps was like cash money in prison. So he was all right. He was all right. But when he's dying, right, I have these conversations with him and tell him about himself, about how he messed up my credit, how he got credit cards in my names, how borrowed money, never gave the money back, how he overcharged me for ounces of cocaine, how he told my mom I was selling dope and I had a spot. These arsenals of guns, these big old, what do you call it, these like military cases of guns and he wouldn't give me one. He wouldn't sell them to me for cheap. You know what I mean? He just sold me this one. He actually sold me two handguns, but I ended up selling him one back. I got shot and sold him one back. And, just a whole lot of incidents. As I'm thinking, it's just so much. It's too much to put together in a 20-minute video. But told him about himself. Told him about all the women he played and how he put them before us and stuff like that. It was actually kind of funny because Pops hit me with he got a little upset. He got real upset, but he wasn't in no condition. Plus, he respected me for some reason. Maybe it was through the death threats or the physical violence, or maybe because all the times he took me places and he was afraid of my cripping, that he didn't want no issue. But Pops got highly upset. And he said, "Oh, man, you went and robbed them dudes from up north, and my life was in jeopardy. They chased me to Washington. They shot my not really uncle, but uncle, right? And, my Aunt Vivian, who had brain cancer, her husband had got shot. And so he's blaming me for all that. I'm like, nigga, that wasn't me." And he like, pause, knowing he had the wrong story the whole time. Nigga, that wasn't me. He said, "Man, y'all had all them nice cars." Nigga, I earned every nice car I had, nigga. You talking about the nice cars at the house. Them wasn't my nice cars, nigga. So it really made him think, like, I didn't set you up. So, he tried to reverse the charges, but he couldn't. He didn't know what he was talking about. Big bro had a lot of nerve to question me, knowing he's been stealing money and jewelry from me many years without replacing it. I breathed a sigh of relief as he removed the money from my bedroom. The following day, he went to the car lot and bought a brand new IROC, a candy red 63 ragtop Chevy with chrome dates from Fat Donnie, a clean Regal, and a classic Volkswagen with a chrome engine and white wall tires, and a new wardrobe. So Pops was coming to LA for Christmas this year. He was coming to Christmas. I don't have the obituary in front of me. But Pops was coming to Christmas this year, about a week before, man, less than that, a couple days before Christmas, probably like the 23rd, December 23rd. And Pops ain't feeling well. His side is hurting real bad, so he goes to the doctor. Doctor say, man, you got cancer. So Pops calls, he's depressed and stuff, so he won't be able to make it for Christmas. He was also coming to see my house in Vegas. He had never been to my house in Vegas. And he used to want to live with me, but I didn't want Pops living with me. He was like, man, I'll do your gardening, I'll paint your house whenever you need it painted. Like, I'll clean up everything. I don't want Pops there, you know what I mean? He gonna bump every girlfriend I got. He gonna bump every bitch I bring to the house. Couldn't trust Pops with your girl. He never stole none of mine, but ain't no telling how many he went behind my back and found. Because he used to take my brother's girlfriend. Like, my brother couldn't have a girlfriend without Pops trying to get at her. Steal her. But he was always mesmerized and amazed by the type of females I had and how I could talk to them any way I wanted to talk to them and the beauty of them. And he would always compliment them. I'd be like, watch yourself. Don't play with me. And he would shut up and leave it alone. So I go out there to kind of see Pops through his cancer, taking all his treatments and everything, make sure he eat right, except for he would always tell me, man, I want to go to 31 flavors, man. I want me a vanilla malt. And I had never seen Pops drink no malt. Never. From a kid to adulthood, I never seen Pops drink no vanilla malt. I love him, though. But he told me, he said, man, you always getting them malts. I want one. I got a taste for one. I'm like, you can't have no malt, man. You going through chemotherapy and you sick. You can't have a malt. He like, look, man. He would talk soft because of the chemotherapy had him weak. But look, man, I'm a grown man. I want what I want. I want a vanilla malt. And I would always cave in and take him to get his vanilla malt. So I apologize if I helped speed up his death. You know, I feel a little guilty. But I believe when you're dying, man, and if it's within reach, you should be able to have what you can have. So I stayed 2 weeks, and I'm like, man, I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of seeing him dying and shit. He would ask me to change his colostrophy bag, and I would never do it. I promise I wouldn't do it. And he would look so depressed, like, son, I need my bag. I'm not changing your bag. Call one of them young girls, call your sister, call a nurse. I'm not changing your bag. So he would be like, all right, well, just get my bag, man, and, you know, just throw this away for me. So I would go over there, turn my head and shit, here, hand him the bag, close my eyes and shit, take his bag, like, go throw his bags out. I just couldn't do it, man. So that's another thing, my brothers. Y'all be careful. Y'all be good to your kids and your girls, because when we get older, you never know who you might need to wipe your ass, change your bag, wash your body, your feet. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm always try to treat people nice unless you treat me fucked up. I got a switch that I can turn on quick and treat you back fucked up like I do the trolls. So it was hard on me. For real, it was hard on me. But at the same time, like, I still had that shield on me to where, man, you gonna die, just die, man. You know, when you go, you go. Not to be mean or nothing like that, but I used to be like, when you go, you go. But I'm here for you to help you out. You know what I mean? But after them 2 weeks, man, I gotta go. I had a girlfriend from Compton that when I got there to take care of him, she called me and, you know, she wanted to mess with another guy. So that hurt. So I'm going through that too. Like, damn, my daddy dying and old girl don't want to be with me. And so I'm going through all this psychological turmoil, and I want to get my ass back to LA. If nothing else, I need to sell some fucking rocks and get some money, because I missed money for 2 weeks and I ain't got no fucking money. My aunt now sent me like 200. That 200 went so fast fucking with him and these vanilla malts and shit and putting gas in the car and all that old stuff. So boom. When I'm leaving, I'll never forget, man, I'm leaving and we go to the airport. And Pops is in the passenger seat. I'm in the back seat. And I get out the car. And it's hard for me to say it right now. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to say it. But I'm like, all right, Pops, I'll see you. And I don't want to look at him. And he's like, all right, thanks for coming. And I'm like, man, it's all good. It's all good. And I'm like, I love you, man. Like, I love you too. And I was comfortable because I had these grown man conversations with him. Told him about himself. Told him how fucked up he was. How he neglected me. How he was a piece of shit. And so now I get to leave. But I really don't want to leave him. But I got to leave. Because I got to live. When he died, I still got to live. So I got to go. I get back to L.A., man. And I'm calling my father, and he won't answer the phone. Pops always answered the phone. Pops not answering the phone. But Pops was a mama's boy all the way to the day he died. So I call his mother, my grandmother, my beloved grandmother, and I'm like, you know, you talk to my father? He said, yeah, I talk to him 3-4 times a day. He calls me all day. Well, I ain't talked to him. So I said, tell him to call me. She said, well, he probably don't want to talk to you. I'm like, what you mean he don't want to talk to me? So boom, I shoot over to her house and look her in her eyes. I'm like, what's going on? She said, I think your daddy's going to die. He think he's going to die because he said that, you know, the number 2 came up out his throat. And that's a sign of death. And she said, he don't think he going to make it. He's about giving up. And he don't want to tell you. I'm like, wow. I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that. I get that. But damn, it was so surprising that he didn't want to talk to me. He always wanted to talk to me. Always answer the phone. And so I'm just telling y'all, man, get right with your maker. Get right with your loved ones. You know, I've done said it several times. I hope y'all taking heed. Get right with your loved ones, whether it's a friend, girlfriend, wife, brother, sister, mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, whoever it may be, man. You feel a whole lot better when they leave, man. All that guilt shit, all that guilt, like when I didn't go see the homie Slip Rock because of the situation he was in, you won't have no guilt. You won't feel guilty, and you know your loved ones resting in peace, and you know that they know your heart. Be confrontational. Get it off your chest. Because you'll never get to get it off again when they gone. So yeah, rest in peace, Pops, man. Love you, love all the things you did and did not do, man. I just love your lifestyle. And knowing that I was there for you, man, brings me great peace during this holiday season. You know what I mean? And so we had that tough man-to-man conversation that I think everybody should have with their loved ones. And so he came out of it cool. Like when the conversation was over, it was over. Like I told him, man, that you was a trip. You was a trip, man. But no, I at that point, I had never told him I loved him. At that point, I've never. Like, that's just a hard word in my family. It's a hard word for us to love on one another. But once I start going to prison, man, I learned to use that word and never stop short of telling people that I love them. But couldn't tell Pops that. I just couldn't tell Pops that, man. Pops had all this jewelry, all this stolen jewelry. He had tons of cash, and I come out there to visit him. Nigga ain't offered me a diamond, a watch, a bracelet, not even a woman's tennis bracelet or a diamond ring, nigga, to give to a female or something, man. Like, nigga, like he ain't offered me $1 out of that stack. But we ended up going to like a what do you call that spot? We went to, damn, I can't think of the name of that place. They sell appliances, but all type of electronics and stuff. But we went there. He bought me my first memory for a computer, a little small thing. So that's how I have some of my pictures from back in the day, because I had that little memory and I would put pictures on there. And so I was running drugs to Memphis. And now Pops wasn't doing so well. Pops was broke, and Pops would be like, shit, can I get an ounce? Hell no, you can't get no ounce, nigga. Did you give me an ounce? I would give him a hard time. I'd be like, you can have an ounce of weed. You know, he liked the weed for the young girls, so I would give him an ounce of weed. Nigga, you can have some weed, nigga. Go on, get you a little of that cheap weed. Like, it wasn't no fire-ass weed. It was the cheap weed, the stress. And I would just laugh at Pops and shit like, nigga, you ain't gave me nothing but spaghetti, nigga, and a backup hard drive. I love that spaghetti, though. I'm going to keep it 100. I love that spaghetti to death. I got an aunt, another one of my mother's best friends, Stephanie, and McDaniels. And, you know, when I see her, I tell her, man, you know, I want that spaghetti, because she know how to cook the spaghetti. As close to Pops as anybody else I know. Like, her spaghetti ain't the same as his. His was like A1, like 10 plus. Steph can cook. Her tuna and her spaghetti is good. They're my favorite dishes. They good. Her steak is good, but Pops was like A1. And so, you know, we had some good times going out gambling. I remember bucking them at the crap table for tens of thousands, like 30-something thousand, 40-something thousand. And Pops looking at me. I would slide Pops a few hundred while we at the table. Keep sliding him a few hundred, give him 1,000 to play the slot machines. And he will lose. Shit, I just gave you yours, man. You just fucked off like 4, 5 racks. Nigga, I ain't got nothing else for you. Shit, I take him to eat, take him and his friends to eat, his girlfriend, take him to eat, you know what I'm saying, have a good time, some good food. Because actually, it was actually my father that really taught me how to eat good. And he's really the one I attribute him for telling me to eat greens. Like, as bad as I eat, I'm going to eat my green food. So, we would go out and, you know, treat him. He would be like, don't tell my sister. All right, I won't tell your sister that you sprung on gambling. I won't tell your sister that I just gave you 4 or 5 racks at the crap table and slot machine. But, I always felt some type of way about not paying his bills. His cable bill would be due. His little cheap electric bills would be due, and I wouldn't pay him. But I would stay with him. But that's the type of shit he would do. And I'd be like, man, I'm out of here, man. You begging too much. I'm on my way back to California, nigga. I say all this shit in fun, man. It's like, you know, like bittersweet times. Chilling with my father in Memphis. We would go to strip clubs too. Pops kind of didn't really like the strip club. I didn't understand why he didn't like the strip clubs. Because he liked young hoes. He liked the hoes. He liked fast women. I didn't understand why he didn't like to be in the strip club. Maybe it was going to be some women he knew. I never understood that. Hey, I'm out of here, y'all. Be sure to click that like button. I know this was a little deep for some of you. It was deep for me, too. Be sure to subscribe if you just passing through or you like the story. I tell all sorts of stories here. And don't be afraid to leave a comment. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.